In recent decades, the annual deficit has been fairly high. I think under President Trump's first 4 years, I think it was maybe $6 to $8 trillion of additional debt added to the total debt. We have that 36 trillion now. How are we going to get the debt down and the deficit down if we have these big tax cuts?
Well, David, let me just say, I think the deficit is probably the most important issue today in terms of the long-term impact on the economy. And just to put this in perspective, in the first term, we had debt to GDP ratio of about 100%. And with the tax cuts and economic growth before COVID, we were growing the economy faster than we were growing the debt. So that ratio would have come down. And I think we were trying to get it down to 90 to 95. The big focus on the first term was military spending. We unfortunately had to increase non-military spending to get it through the House and Senate. But what really impacted us was COVID. And I think, as you know, firsthand, we had to spend a lot of money in COVID or we would have had a worldwide depression, not recession. I think the problem was, the first $2 trillion was well spent. The next $2 trillion we never should have spent. And then the Biden administration kept on spending. So, we have debt to GDP of close to 125% today. That's a gigantic problem. Secretary Bessent has talked about getting the deficit down from 6% to 3% of GDP. And that's got to be a major focus. So if we're going to do the tax cuts, we need to make sure there's pay-fors and we need to make sure there's economic growth.